Hey guys, thank you for joining us. Bob, your host for the Tuesday Night Live Show, welcome you all here for August 1st, 2023. Tonight's featured guest is going to be joining us in a bit, and what a talent she is. She loves to travel, share food memes and recipes, performs as Mrs. Claus, and most of all, be a dedicated mother. She has a larger than life smile, and her face is on a billboard on I 94 in Michigan. Stick around as we have the honor of finding out what a talented lady she really is. Just a reminder, the opening of tonight's show, Tuesday Night Live Show, is brought to you by Santa and the Business of Being Santa, professional technical training school for Christmas entertainers. The legend lives on. This is Tuesday Night Live. Thank you all for returning for yet another episode. We love and appreciate your support. Each one of you hold a very special place in our hearts of our Tuesday Night Live family and crew. After 15 days in Branson and School of Santas, I think this guy deserves a big round of applause or maybe his head examined. It's okay because we love him anyway. My bud, Spangle the Clown.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? We're here. We're alive. We're kicking and we're going.
I don't know about you, man, but I think I'm still tired from 2 weeks in Branson. How about yourself?
Come on, man. That's history, man.
This
I'm ready
is
to go again.
I know that's right. I know that's right. All right. So, hey, everyone, please say hi and send a basket full of love to our producer, the one and the only world famous Angela Mack, sitting over here.
Hiding.
Hiding, she
Is
says.
that Angela Mac and Cheese?
Hey, yeah, exactly. All right, guys. So this is episode 27, and we have merch. That's right. Visit fancylees.com, our exclusive supplier for all our swag.
Let me take
Also,
a look
to
at that
enjoy.
swag there.
What's that?
I said, let me take a look at that swag you got going on.
Yeah. Hey, Spangle's got a shirt too, but you know what? He left Branson, packed everything up. He's got a whole conference center full of stuff. And somewhere in that conference center full of stuff that he took to storage is his shirt. So he doesn't have it on tonight. All right. So also remember that to watch us on your big screen, join us on YouTube at the Tuesday Night Live Show 1225. If you're over there on YouTube and you want to check us out on Facebook, check us out there at the Tuesday Night Live Show. We thank you watching us on Tuesday Night Live. The Tuesday Night Live Show first half of tonight's trivia is brought to you by School of Santa's 2024. See, we're moving on. Hosted by Spangle in picturesque Branson, Missouri, where education and fun meets.
All right, are we ready? Okay, check it out. They are going to get their name in a hat for a free registration for Branson 2024 at the School of Santas. That might be the ticket that might be hard to get. I was told we can hold 110 people, and we had 89 already registered. Hey,
Wow.
anyways, and it's held. Oh, about this amazing acrobats. We were going to talk about that for the trivia. Okay, how long has the amazing acrobats of Shanghai been performing in Branson, and how many seats are there in the Millie Gillies Grand Shanghai Theater?
Mickey Gillies.
Mickey Gillies. I should know this too. Me and Mickey he has got a little restaurant on there, and we used to sit there, and he'd play the guitar, and I'd sit at his table, and we'd have dinner together.
That is super cool.
Yeah, that's a good thing to remember, you know?
It is. It is.
Anyways,
Good
how long has the amazing acrobats in Shanghai been performing in Branson? How many seats are there in the Mickey Gillies Grand Shanghai Theater?
That is a tongue twister. For sure. All right, so you guys.
They were really good.
They were, going in, I don't know why, but, I had heard some comments from some folks saying that they presume that the Legends in concert would probably be the better of the two shows. Going out, I actually heard more people say they enjoyed the acrobats more than they did the Legends, which is hard to believe. I mean, they were both top-notch entertainment. I enjoyed, we went 2 weeks, so we went to both of them twice, and actually thought that both shows were better the second time around than they were the first. I don't know if it was.
I think it's because you knew what was coming and you could pay more attention to what they were doing instead of trying to be the surroundings.
I think it's probably
the Shanghai circus people, the acrobats, they were really funny too. I mean, they did a lot of comedy in their show.
They did, of course, there was a couple of different things that I really enjoyed. And of course, that was the juggling act where they remove their clothes and put them back on while juggling between two people. I know it's a family show. And then, of course, the other one that was, I think, the crowd favorite was the guy with the mask that changed different colors. That was pretty cool. Don't know how he done it, but it was really cool.
You don't want to know how they done it.
No, I probably don't. He
was trying to figure out how to do a Santa thing in there, but he just couldn't get the mask, with the beard and everything to work. But they did. I mean, it is gracious how they are to our group. We come out there with a group of 100 people, and these things may hold 1,000 people. Some of these, things, but they all came out wearing Santa hats at the end, and things like that. I think
the whole cast came out for the whole auditorium, not just our theater, not just us, but the whole everyone that was there wearing Santa hats, and of course they was, like you said, very gracious. They let everyone else clear the theater out. And Santa's, Mrs. Claus stayed behind, and we were able to go up on stage and get group photos with them, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yep. All right, guys, y'all work on the trivia question, and we're going to do the exit video, and we'll be right back in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
The first half of tonight's Tuesday Night Live show is brought to you by SchoolofSantas.com. Kick off your 2023 season with inspiration from the School of Santas, an annual premier educational opportunity where fun and education meet, and is held each year the third weekend in July in scenic Branson, Missouri. School of Santas prides itself in bringing in a variety of new instructors and presenters each year, which makes this school unique in the Christmas community. Offering quality education, training, and fun for only $359. Included in your tuition is 4 days of classes, Thursday through Sunday, and 4 fun nights of entertainment. 2 of these are in-house, along with 2 Branson theater shows, where the class can enjoy time out on the town. We kick off both nights with a parade, our annual School of Santa's tribute to Daisy May. All meals provided during class served in-house include a total of 4 dinners and 3 lunches. And breakfast is also included if staying at the host hotel. To close out the weekend, we have the Sunday graduation reception with Elvis entertaining on stage. We also have our expanded StuffForSanta.com mobile store in-house all weekend, along with other select premier vendors. Remember, School of Santa's Branson, Missouri is where fun and education meet. For more information, or to reserve your $359 educational, fun vacation in Branson, contact Tanya Lay at 1-800-432-4202 or email Tanya at bransonticket.com. Hotel rooms are not included in the price. Reservations for your room at the American by Wyndham Branson and Conference Center can be made at the time of registration. Remember to contact Tanya at 1-800-432-4202 4202 before it's too late. Now, back to tonight's show.
Just a programming note. It's been a whirlwind, time since we came back from Branson. I was in the process of updating those slides on that video. Didn't get it done this week. We'll have it ready for next week.
Cool. Yeah. I was going to say something about that. We might need to let some people know that it's 24. They're not looking at the
24, and
calendar. How can I
I'll
get in
update
there?
the shows on the slide that has the shows on it and things of that nature. So,
Right. Cool. Hey, anyways, our featured guest tonight was born just before Thanksgiving, and that could explain why she has a love for posting memes and recipes of delicious foods. I'm going to have to start watching her page more often. Snacks and desserts. She is a big prominent of using all available social media to self-promote herself as an actress and as a creator, and is known by all of us as Mrs. Claus Vintage. Her approach to the character of Mrs. Claus is second to none. We are very excited to welcome to the Tuesday Night Live show Shawn Marshall White, Mrs. Claus Vintage.
Thank you. Thank you.
She is in the house.
I am so excited to be here tonight.
we are excited to have you. Have been sitting on pins and needles. We talked about it in Branson that, gosh, we had such a good Mrs. Claus prior to going to Branson, and the 2 weeks in Branson, and then couldn't wait when we got out from there and got the recap show done that you were next. Just so glad to have you, Shawn.
That is
welcome
so
to the show.
Thank you.
And let's start off telling everyone where you live.
Okay. I am in Jackson, Michigan. So I'm about right there.
About right there. Fantastic.
Yep.
Again, Randy's going to have to work with me on that the hand deal. I'm still not really good at it, but hey, I'm working on it. Okay, so inquired minds want to know all about this big I-94 billboard that Randy Santa Checker Lee keeps telling everybody about. He's talked about it on Monday. He's talked about it in private. He's talked about it everywhere he went. And also, to back that up, we want to know how long you've been a Mrs. Claus and how did you get started?
Okay. I have been a Mrs. Claus for 7 years, approximately. And I got started at a chamber of commerce in a small town that my family was from in Michigan. As they needed a Mrs. Claus, and they knew I had been involved in theater, so they asked me to do it. And I said, of course I would do it. Of course. So that's how I was started. Okay, back to the billboards. There's actually 2 billboards. And I didn't realize that.
Copper tone ones, is it?
No. But it's me. Yeah, that's for sure. I did some marketing for my dentist. He's a wonderful guy. I did like some press agent kind of things for him, got him on TV and showed him the ropes and the whole shebang with it. And just have a really good rapport with him in his office. And he saw some of my pictures on Facebook, and then they asked me if they could use them. So that was all. And I didn't know it would be right by the truckers, the weight station. There's 2. They're right there. So that's kind of funny, I thought. But yeah, pretty cool. Never thought that would happen. But
well,
your you beautiful have a picture of them that you can share with the screen?
Do what?
You have a picture on your phone or something you can share on the screen?
I can.
And your beautiful smile probably soothes those truckers' thoughts as they start across the scales to make sure that they're kind of calm as they go across, because as an old truck driver, scales kind of worry you.
I bet it makes them a little lighter.
It's kind of funny. I'll tell you a little secret that I worked at the court for years, and I used to deal with all the overweights and the truckers and their tickets, and they would have to call me to find out how much they needed to post before they could get out of the weight station. But the thing is, they would call back and they liked my voice, and I was like, oh God, this billboard thing just kind of goes with that, and made me laugh and my husband laugh. I don't know where the billboard is. Let's see. I don't know. I'll have to look for it and I'll show it.
Okay. Well, anyways, let's go.
Okay.
Behind the Mrs. Claus character, who are you? Who is Mrs. Shawn White?
I'm a mother of 4. They're all grown up. My baby just turned 21 yesterday. I've got 2 girls, 2 boys. And I have been on the Board of Education for 10 years. I was elected twice, president for about half that time. Now I do a lot of civic-minded type stuff. I'm on the advisory board committee at the airport. So I work with the pilots, and I am on our township zoning appeals. And then I do zoning appeals at the airport also. So a lot of that type of stuff, governmental things. And then this Mrs. Claus stuff is like the rest of my life, everything.
Do you have some other hobbies?
I like to travel, definitely. I don't like to sit still. So that I would say, and the videos and the social media, it's very relaxing. And if I like to be creative, so it's a very nice outlet for that. And music, I love music. That would be the other thing.
Is it Christmas music?
Well, I'm a Mrs. Claus music. I have a piano, and I like to talk to the children about music. I think it's really important. And that's kind of my musical background with the school. I was involved in community theater for about 10 years too. So been on the stage a lot with kids and large casts of kids.
Very nice. Well, Bob mentioned your love for sharing recipes and comfort food. And asked Bob about a comfort food place I took him. Anyways, one place you said you had a wonderful holiday season is at Blue Julep. Tell us about the bakery and your favorite confections.
Well, that bakery is very special because that's where I work as Mrs. Claus. And I am her mascot is what I call myself. Just Mrs. Claus. I probably was there 4 or 5 times last season. For anything that's going on downtown, she has me there. I'm either frosting cookies with children, reading with children, or just talking with them and helping them fill out their lists for Santa. Or sometimes when they're afraid of Santa Claus, their parents bring them to me at the bakery, and I kind of diffuse the problems. And then they can leave and go see Santa, and I'm hoping that is a good thing. So it seems to work to help that problem. But the bakery is a very special place, and her food is, her baking goods is wonderful. One secret is when you work at a bakery, at the end of the night, they have lots of cupcakes and cookies left. So guess who gets to bring them home?
Sure, your husband doesn't mind that either.
He doesn't at all. He loves it. And the kids that are here always, anybody that's here is loving that totally. So,
it's a funny thing. You said you help break the ice sometimes with Santa and the children. And, the Santa role and the Mrs. Claus role is, here's Santa's that big, hairy, scary guy. And then Mrs. Claus is that lovable grandma. I think you guys get the best job.
Well, last year I had a little boy come in, and he had seen a scary movie with Santa in it, and he was about 4 years old and just scared to death. And by the time he left, he was sitting in my lap, and we were talking, and it was okay. So I'm hoping I changed the course for him for his childhood with Santa Claus anyways.
I've dealt with those scary movies a lot being a clown,
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us to the comment from our dear friend, Deanna Golden. She says, hello, Shawn. Thank you for being a fabulous reflection of the best of Claus.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you, Deanna.
Yeah. So tell us about, okay, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Can you see this billboard?
Turn it landscape.
Turn your phone.
Okay. Okay.
This way.
Now I lost it, guys.
Sorry. Mine
Darn it.
automatically spans when I turn it, so I didn't know if yours did.
Yeah, I had it locked. That's why. Darn it. See, I have everything on video because I do videos all the time.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll keep looking.
Right.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Let's go back to the. Okay, you found it.
Okay, let Angie pull you up full screen.
Okay, tilt it down just a little bit. Now to your right. There you go. Right there. There you go.
Right there.
Lovely.
Yep, that's me.
Absolutely. Super, super cool.
Yep.
We were getting your ring light for a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning. Tell us
Okay.
about your very first appearance as Mrs. Claus and what 2 things you learned from that.
Okay. I walked into the very large town hall that I had only known as a child. And it was a very special place because I used to spend a lot of time with my great grandma. So I walked into this place. I had never met the Santa Claus. I didn't know anybody but maybe 2 of the elves that were in the Chamber of Commerce. So, and he had never worked with a Mrs. Claus before. So when I walked in, I just kicked into my theater ways and went into character and just went up and started hurting the children, basically, because we had hundreds of kids, and that's why they wanted me there. It was beautiful, set up on the stage, and it went wonderful. I got to go backstage and see. This was really special. There was actors through the years had wrote their names on the back, this place in the back stage. I'd never been back there, so that was kind of, I don't know, meaningful to me to be there doing that to somewhere that my great grandmother had been and cherished that place. So that was all special. Made it work. I went my first parade that time. It was a horse-drawn carriage. It was snowing. Didn't know anybody, but it was fun, and they invited me back. So the next year was a little bit easier because I knew him a little bit better. He was a real quiet man. But the special thing that I don't know where this question was in the lineup here, but that was the moment. That was the moment when I knew I wanted to be a Mrs. Claus. Was probably the second year in the parade. I realized that when Santa and I would talk about the children, how special that was, because only we knew what those kids had told us. And there were kids that were asking for food or quiet houses, stuff like that, that kind of tears at your heart a little bit. But I knew at that moment, like, yep, this is where I need to be, helping these kids make some magic for them. So
no, wait a minute. I never realized that you can ask Santa for food. I got a whole new thing coming when I go see Santa this year. Me and him's going to have a talk.
Yeah, we had some hard ones out there. I came across some real hard stuff, but
I'm taking my grocery list
every year, so it's they check in with us, and it was nice because I could say we're coming. You know, I would remember them, so I'm like, we came here just to see you. I'm so happy to see you again, and you could tell it made a difference. So, yep,
fantastic.
Okay, so Kathy Cage says that, let me see if I can find it real quick. It was up here when we first opened up. I wanted to read it to you. Where did it go? Well, anyway, let's just put it this way. She was doing cartwheels. She couldn't wait for you to come on. She was jumping up and down and was really excited. And she just posted a moment ago here in the comments
okay.
that you're so sweet, Shawn. And that's from Kathy Cage.
I love Kathy. She's a sweetheart. She's a good person.
Can we answer Jerry Keel's question with a big yes?
Which one are you talking about? You going to the Red Suit Conclave?
Yeah.
Spangle is going, yes. So everyone knows. Okay, let's move along here, Shawn. Going back to the earlier years as a child yourself, share how your family celebrated the Christmas season, and did you ever get a chance to visit Santa during those early years? And kind of tell us about your siblings and Christmas. That's all rolled into one.
Okay. I have three siblings. The younger two were twins, and they were about 13 years younger than I was. Um, my I only probably saw Santa maybe once when I was really little, probably about 8 years old. Um, Family didn't have a lot of money, but my mom, Christmas was the most special time, and it was always magical. And my mom had an imagination, and she would make, no matter what was going on around us or where we lived at, it was always going to be special, and we knew it, and we would be so excited about it. So Santa was huge. My mom just created this wonderful man in my mind that I still have in my mind, um, that just loved us and was going to give us gifts and special surprises. So that was my childhood. Um, Family, we just spent a lot of time with family too. That was always a good thing. But
So, needless to say, you were not scared of Santa when you went to see him.
no, no,
Very good. And I tell folks that all the time. For the ones that are scared, you should have watched a couple of movies, read a couple of children's Santa books, talk about Santa before you bring them and just dump them on Santa's knee. So,
yeah, a strange man. You're just handing your child to a strange man, and
well, we talk about stranger danger all the time to our children. So,
right,
how more strange is this once a year? So,
right.
Let me
That's
throw a
great.
little thing out there too, since we're talking about how to get them comfortable with Santa. I do a lot of daycares, and I send a picture of a Santa, just an outline drawing of a Santa, and I suggest to the daycare workers have the children every day for 2 weeks before I get there, go up there and glue a cotton ball where the beard goes. That way, then they get used to going up to Santa every day. And most of the time, the teachers say that's really helped a lot.
That is
Love
nice.
that.
I like
Love that
that.
idea.
So, anyways, when you did have your Christmas at home, what was your favorite one or two toys or gifts you had received as a young child?
Okay, first off was my baby alive baby when I was about 4 years old. Had her forever, drug her all over the United States probably. And then of course Barbies. I was a big Barbie fan. I loved Barbie.
I really had you pegged for a different gift.
Really?
Yeah,
And what was that?
the Easy Bake Oven.
Oh, I did have one,
Yeah.
but it was just a lot of work. I like
Well,
to
I'm
build
just
it.
thinking because of all your comfort food, desserts, and all that stuff. That maybe that's where it came from.
I think I was more the kid that wanted to build the communities, and like I had neighbors, and the Barbies that really weren't Barbies were like my neighbors. I had a whole thing going, and my cousins would play with me, and those were the best gifts too. I still actually have Barbies in my house, so yeah, it was totally Barbies.
Are you
And
going to the movie?
I tell the children, oh, it's at the bakery, especially, well, in another couple places, but that there's an actual barn that's pink and it has Barbies in it. And that's all there is. And that Santa puts me in charge of the Barbie because I can talk Barbie. So it usually distracts from other conversations. So
Yeah, I was at an event doing balloons the other day, and I actually had a lady go up to another lady that was in my line and ask her if she ever dresses up like Barbie because she looked like Barbie doll. And the lady says, "Oh, I get that all the time." And she said they just went to the Barbie movie, and her daughter dressed all up. And yeah, are
yeah,
you going to the movie?
I already did. And yes, I dressed up.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll show you here.
And the reviews for the new Barbie movie has been phenomenal. Folks are
I
really,
know. There's
really
my
loving it.
official Barbie purse.
That is cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Love that Barbie paint.
My daughters got dressed up, and one of the boyfriends went as Ken, and we had a blast. And I made pink cupcakes too.
Go figure. Hey, and if you have not been to Shawn's page on Facebook, you gotta go check out all the fabulous recipes and memes that she has shared about food. I think every 2 or 3 one is nothing but anyway, makes me hungry every time I go over
Now you know he's stalking your page.
there.
That's okay.
Hey, that's like Spangle. He sends me a picture of his dinner tonight that Georgetta made.
Nice.
So, real quick, I hate to get off topic here, but when we were up there, Spangle had told me about this place called Mac and Cheese, and so he took me and my wife
McCheesy.
Carol, huh?
McCheesy.
McCheesy.
That's the name of
So,
it.
okay, so we went and had mac and cheese. It's in a skillet. You get it with all types of different things in it. I got the hamburger, of course, had a hamburger patty, but he sends me a picture tonight and asks me, do I know where they're at? Of course, I see the cast iron skillet and I say, you're at the mac and cheese place. He says, no, Georgetta made it at home tonight. Share the picture.
Well, that's
Wow.
the Frito pie McCheesy.
Oh wow.
But my wife is going to.
And just says, put it back up.
Oh,
She pulled you
okay.
up full screen.
That was the Frito pie McCheesy. See all the mac and cheese underneath it and the beans and all that. They do all kinds of toppings. But okay, my wife's gonna get mad at me here. But that's what tonight. It was really good.
Yum.
Angie says, yum.
She's shaking her head at me.
I gotta love Jetta. Gotta love her. All
Here.
right, Shawn, let's. What?
No.
She don't want to? No.
She says
All
no.
right. Changing gears here, Shawn. I know that you already kind of talked about being a proud and dedicated mom, and you kind of mentioned your children, but kind of tell us a little bit more about your family, your husband, your children.
Okay. I usually don't talk a lot about them, and I know people said, "You really have a husband?" Yeah, I do. We'll be married 31 years this year. Yeah, long time. We met in I worked at the courthouse, and he was a police officer at the time, and we met in probation department actually when I worked in probation. I've got the 4 children. The oldest is a streamer on TikTok, and she has over 1 million followers.
Wow.
So she's doing really well. I'm also going to hopefully be going live with her in December as Mrs. Claus, because that's my character I'm known as on her social media, which is really fun because her mom is Mrs. Claus. Anyway, she went to Michigan. She's got a 4-year degree from there, political science. My second daughter is an epidemiologist, and she has a master's degree from Michigan. My third child is a pilot, commercial pilot. He's currently doing interviews with the big airlines right now, so that's really exciting. And then my fourth child is in his senior year at Michigan, and we are looking at law schools for him. He's getting ready to take the LSAT and do everything. So decisions haven't quite been made, but he's on the road for that path. So that's and I have 1 cat and me.
We didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but
That's all right.
Folks that watch the show know that you're a big part of our audience week in and week out, and we just always like for our audience to know who our guests are and share a little bit. So thank you for that.
Well, I'm mother to like everybody kind of thing, all the kids' friends, and they're still a big part of our lives. We're the house where everybody goes. So when you don't have somewhere to go, you come here and we'll take care of you always.
Yep.
All right, back to your memories and back to Christmas. Shawn, share a couple of your favorite memories from when you were a child, when you were small, decorating, gift wrapping. What made Christmas Eve and Christmas Day special in your household?
Talking about her 4 children were small.
Okay, for the kids. Well, I have one when I was young that is really kind of cool. I was in Texas, and probably in about the 5th or 6th grade, and of course, I wanted to put on a play at Christmas. So I had cousins, 2 girls and a boy, and then my little brother. And we actually built a chimney for the living room so that my cousin could be Santa Claus, and we got him all dressed up as Santa Claus. And we told the story, read the book for the parents and uncles and aunts, got them all seated. And then we got our instruments out and had a band and played musical, jingle bells or whatever it was back then. I think we might have read some stuff out of the Bible as part of our whole script. We typed the script up. Everything was very formal. And so that was a huge, very cool memory. That one of the best Christmas probably ever had. But, it was back theater days back then when I was a kid, I think. So for the kids, we've had Christmas, like got them luggage for Christmas, and the next day we were going to Disney. That was a huge one. They were all screaming and yelling, and we were able to just take off and get out of here, out of the Michigan darkness. And I've always did all the cookies and the cooking, and I've got a counter in my kitchen, and it's just been full of every kind of cookie and chocolate thing you could imagine. So we've always been really big into that type of stuff.
Bob, we know what door to knock on.
Yeah, hey, and I was going to tell her she's hired. I do the scripts, and I could use some help for the show.
Yep.
All right, Shawn. Let's move on and talk about your professional career. Before Mrs. Claus Vintage, you've always been a servant to your community. Show the different positions that you've had before Mrs. Claus and how you were involved in those areas. You mentioned a few earlier, but
yeah. Well, I've just been really involved. I'm since I was in high school, I've been like president of the junior and senior year. It was just always involved in leadership. Everything I've done, it seems like. And then I really enjoyed being on the school board. People think that that's crazy, but I really did enjoy it. I had a really my school district was about 3,400 kids, and probably a budget of maybe $34 million. So that was big time stuff. And it was really I enjoyed it. Not always easy, of course, but I'm a board member for all kinds of things, kind of a Chamber of Commerce, you name it. I'm going to be involved in it. And I've got so many, things in the fire sometimes that kind of makes your head spin. But so not really anything else other than I've already mentioned, I guess.
All right, Spangle.
All right. So give us your philosophy and approach as Mrs. Claus Vintage and how your performance may vary, not only in your attire, but in the way your involvement working with children at the school district has contributed to that.
I'm very motherly, and I know people say it, but I really, really feel like I make children very comfortable. And sometimes I sense that they need it. that few minutes I get with them, I just feel them, they need it, and they need somebody to talk to sometimes, and talk about Santa Claus or whatever we may talk about. I do a lot of stuff by myself without Santa Claus. So I guess that it really comes in handy because it's just me and the child. And sometimes the parents will just walk away and I have the child to talk to or talk with. It doesn't really change. I keep trying to get away from the vintage a little bit, but I seem to just keep going back to it. I work with different Santa Clauses. So one of my goals has been to change it up. I work with Blake out in an orchard, and he's younger. He's got the natural fur on his costume and stuff. So I have bought some different wigs to wear so I don't look like his mother. I can look like his bride instead. Well, I'm working on that. So those are the kind of things I am trying to change up a little bit. I've got a lot of costumes. Today I've been working on a whole new summer clothes for Mrs. Claus. So everything's there, but with time, I'm going to do it right. And with time, it's going to be a really nice wardrobe and everything's going to be there. And I bought some fur that can go around with my natural hair possibly to wear. It just depends. So it's not, it's out there. I just haven't quite made it yet.
Okay.
For different
This
things.
next question, I'll read it out, but you kind of answered it earlier when you talked about your second year. What was there a moment when you knew being Mrs. Claus was for you?
It was when I was in the parade with Santa. Another moment that I had was actually on stage because we performed at the college, and the cast would be probably about 100 people, kids, and usually 12, 15 adults. And I remember being on stage and just thinking, I wish that I could just act with these kids all the time because they actually listen to me when I'm doing that and they're looking for your guidance and things. It was a moment though, and I thought, I don't know how I can do that. I don't know how this can just go into real life and be like that. So I know that was a little bit of a magical moment on stage with the curtains down still, waiting for them to lift. And I was thinking that, but it was also guiding me, I think, to do this.
Nice.
Yep, those are those moments that you just know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Santa Mel says she would love to work with you, and that would be a riot.
Yes, and she's not going to live very far from me either, so I'm hoping.
No, she's coming. She's coming quick. And Santa Carlucci wants to know: do you mostly do large venues with large audiences, or do you do home visits?
I've only did a few home visits. I kind of prefer the large groups. I like to just be on stage basically and in front of lots of kids. And when I went to Ohio, and that was hundreds of children. I really enjoyed doing that type of thing because you never know what's going to happen next, and I enjoy that. I don't really care for the home visits as much. I did the schools, and I'm going to do another school this year. So I would say the bigger stuff is what I enjoy doing. I like the improv of everything I'm doing. I don't want to be, I don't want to do the same tricks or the same things with the children. I want to just react and go with it. So I think the bigger venues do that for me.
Here we have one that says a Facebook user. You might know the name on your end, Bob, but it says, "How does your hubby feel about you being Mrs. Claus?"
Okay, so he's happy that I can do something with his creativity and don't bug him to do it. And he's an attorney, so he does his stuff in the courtroom. So I tell him, don't kid yourself. You're in there acting too,
Good point.
Yes.
That was from Tammy Huffman Cohen.
Okay.
That question.
Yeah, I love Tammy. He doesn't care. He's so used to me being independent. I mean, 31 years, we do our thing, and that's fine, and it works well for us. So
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
that's right. It's fine.
All right, so moving on to the next question. You kind of covered this about working with Santas or different Santas, but there's one thing about it that I want to ask you about, and that's tell us about Olive.
My elf.
Your elf.
That's my daughter. She Olive loves chocolate, and she's my lead chocolate elf at the North Pole. And she truly is a master of chocolate. She could live off of it. She could make any kind of chocolate you could ever want. So that is my beautiful elf Olive. Yes. And I've made her, and I've sewed her outfit that it's custom fit, just gorgeous too. And she's actually went to some of my gigs with me and helped out. And she was an actress from stage. She was in musicals, Belle, and some different stuff at the college. So she knows what she's doing. So that's Olive.
I thought Olive was my pet reindeer.
Her name is Her name is Olivia, so that's where she got Olive.
It works. If you haven't seen any photos of mom and daughter working, she has them on her Facebook page.
Yep.
They're so adorable. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
Shawn, let's take a short breather here. This
Okay.
is a time in the Tuesday Night Live show when we do our product announcements. So we'll be back on the other side of this.
Hello. 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 Hey! Will somebody get you a Happy Meal?
No, don't do that.
Stop the show. It's time for the Showstopper special, and we're going to go over here and see what Spangle has for us tonight.
Hey, we're trying to get you guys stocked up for your season. We're going to do the red and green coins. We have these in Santa, and we have these in Mrs. Claus. It says I met Mrs. Claus or I met Santa. They're normally $15 a roll. If you buy 10 rolls, we're going to give them to you for half price, and we will ship them free. So there you go. If you're the trivia winner, we'll get you a couple rolls out in the mail free. Anyway, so the trivia. No, we don't. Are we ready for the trivia? No,
Not yet, because we got to tell everyone that that's only good through next Monday, August the 7th, and that you've got cases of those that have come in, so you got plenty of stock in inventory in stock.
Man, I got about 500,000 of these in stock right now.
Is that the naughty or nice ones?
No, these the red and the green say the same thing. There's just different colors.
Just so everyone knows. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent
And the Santas are trimmed in gold. Unfortunately, the Mrs. Clauses aren't. Oh, that's the wrong one. The Mrs.
All
Claus
right.
aren't. Because I had to buy the Santas and 1,000,000 of them to get them trimmed in gold. But
Very good.
Goodbye,
All right.
William.
That is good through next Monday, August 7th, and we'll be right back on the other side of this message.
Oh, hello there. Yes, of course, it's me, Santa Claus. Now, you may not believe this, but one of the questions I get asked the most is, well, not how do I do it all in one night? No, but where do I get all my things from? Yes, now, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the finest things I have. My glorious gloves, all my knickknacks and trinkets and things, yes, all the giveaways, yes, for me to give to the children before the main event. Yes, if I see them in the streets, if they come and see me, I like to have something in my pocket I can treat them with. Yes, and there's one special place where I can find all these magical goods. And that is, of course, StuffForSanta.com. You should head there now and see what magical gifts you can find. Mrs. Claus, have you got my ice pad? Yes, log me on. I'm going to have a look. I shall see you there. StuffForSanta.com. Merry Christmas.
all right, guys, trivia time. You get some of these. You'll have to tell me if you want Santa or Mrs. Claus. But anyways, what is the name of the iconic theater that Legends and Concerts Branson's show seen at, and how many seats does the theater have? All right, what's the name of the iconic theater that Legends and Concerts is performed at? the Branson show's seen, and how many seats does that theater have? Now, with a name like this, it is iconic too.
Yeah, it really is. And that was such a great show also. Again, I don't, you mentioned seeing it the second time, you kind of knew what was coming, but I really thought the second show there was by far better than the first one.
And Lady Gaga, I'm not a Lady Gaga fan, but I really liked her personality or whatever that the lady that was performing as her.
Monsters.
Oh, sir. Oh. Hey, look at these new hats we got too. We'll be bringing them out here in the next day or two.
Yep, those are cool. Very
We
nice.
have them with the Believe patch. We had them without the Believe patch also. I know you're probably wondering about why I was over here wearing a hat.
Showing it off. I know why. Ted Flynn, Shawn says that you are also leading a roundtable discussion at the Red Suit Conclave this coming weekend, and that you are so multi-talented.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be so fun.
And you're also going back again to the shows in Branson. I think getting to the shows was where the fun was.
Those parades are always a lot of fun. And of course, this year we had the green and red police style overhead lights that a dozen of us or so had on our vehicles. And we had extra help at blocking. Melissa Lynn, Santa Mel, and Eric and Moesha Elliott helped block because we needed extra blockers this year. And it's just a ton of fun. Flashers are going off. Everybody's blowing their horns. People, of course, if you've been to Branson, it's like Vegas. It's wall-to-wall people down the sidewalks going from one attraction to the next. And they're stopping and they're waving. And people in their cars, of course, are the ones that sometimes give you that look. But as soon as you smile and wave, they smile and wave back. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, the police just drove by and shook his head.
Shook his head. What am I going to do? 60 cars? I'm not going to pull all them over.
Yeah, those Clauses are back in town.
Yep.
Hey, they've got a movie or a song. The Clauses are back in town.
They've got to enjoy. They've got to enjoy us being there. I mean,
maybe we need to get Shawn Wright to write us a script.
All right, so moving on to the second half.
Get you to write us a script for a play. The Clauses are back in town.
Maybe.
Okay, so moving on to the second half of tonight's program, let's continue our conversation with Mrs. Claus Vintage, Shawn White. So how important has social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and even Facebook become? And I know you're a big proponent of doing those type of things to promote yourself. So tell us about that.
It's so important that when I'm not dressed as Mrs. Claus, I swear, every time I go to the grocery store, somebody will yell out Mrs. Claus from afar because of social media. It's insane. And I'm not in costume. I'm minding my own business. But that's what it is. And people that I don't even realize are looking at this stuff are saying that. So it's huge. Everybody's on it.
Wouldn't it be neat if social media let us see who was looking at us?
Yeah. Well, TikTok, you can see who's looking at you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can see who's looking at your profiles, or viewing your videos. Definitely.
Huh. It might be scary too if we could see everybody that was looking at us.
It is kind of scary sometimes, but that's why children, probably shouldn't be on it. But the marketing is amazing. And even at the bakery, if I repost stuff on here, public on Facebook, people are coming in. They're stopping by during the parade because they know I'm down there. That's all it took was me to repost something or make up something. So can't say enough about it for marketing.
Right. We had a guest on a while back, one of the Santas, and he was just going to the different bakeries and he was posting him eating a cookie, and this is Santa's favorite cookie, and they would run that on special and people would just flock to the bakery because Santa was having it on social media.
Well, I did some videos at the bakery with the girls that are working in there as my elves, brought them all hats in, and as they were frosting cookies and things, I did this whole video, and they were just as so excited about it and put them on TikTok. So, and part of the marketing for the bakery too. She appreciates it. So,
Well, we were in Branson. I went down to the Kringle Christmas shops and did a little 8-minute video, just kind of walking through. And a little girl stopped me and, wanted to talk to me. And I just kept filming with my camera. And I showed her at first, but I took the camera off of her. And we posted that on Facebook 6 days ago. Got over 600, or not Facebook, YouTube. Got over 600 hits on it already. And it's funny because we didn't put age appropriate on that particular video. And every time I go onto YouTube now, it's suggested. Now, all of our stuff that we do for the program here, we have 18 and above because of the content of what we're doing. We didn't want to, ruin it for some child and the parents get mad. And so we've got it set up where you have to, log in and show that you're 18 and above to watch these shows. But that just goes to show you the difference in being what we do at 18 appropriate to being wide open, 600 hits in less than 6 days. So pretty cool.
Another thing that when you're creating the videos or pictures, it creates what people their vision of you. And you can do this by music. I use a lot of music on TikTok, and I've got a regular TikTok that's not costume, not Mrs. Claus. And I usually do music from the 70s, 80s, rock and roll type music on there. And that gets the ear, and then they see and they want to watch it because they want to listen to the music. There's a whole creative thing going there. But it just forms what they see of you. So that's why I enjoy doing this. But the marketing from that, they've maybe never met me and don't know much, but they've seen all this stuff, so they feel like they have. So I will keep it up, and I hope to help others. I'm just wanting to teach.
So you said that your daughter has over 1 million followers on TikTok. How many do you have?
I have about 1,400 which isn't a whole lot on Mrs. Claus. It's hard. On my other one is around a little over 4,000, I think. But I've also got 34,000 likes on my regular account. So that's a lot. That's a lot. I've had some videos that have went viral. 11,000 people have seen them, or, it's insane to put them out there, and they just go crazy. And the numbers are just flipping. When I go to Florida okay, real quick, I'll say that tell you this. I got a job because I'm Mrs. Claus. I got a house setting job for a $1 million condo in Florida. So Mrs. Claus goes to the condo and watches some kitties at least once a year. And I do videos while I'm there. And those videos have went just crazy.
Now, are you Mrs. Claus while you're there?
Yep. Well, what I do is I take elves with me and decorations, and I put a lot of good music on it, and the numbers just go insane. And I'll tell them that I'll just type out Mrs. Claus is on vacation. Santa will be okay. Elves are going to take care of him, whatever. And everybody likes that. I don't have to even be really in them. It's but if it works, so.
Well, you got all those followers, and I got 2. I got my parole officer and the sheriff. They follow me everywhere.
Oh, no.
Okay, no such people.
So I'm hoping to go on with my daughter. The other thing that on TikTok, I have actually went live with some of the other Santas from Ohio. They've got on there with me and interacted, and we've had people watching us live. So that was really fun. That last year we did that. So I'm hoping to do some more stuff like that.
Very cool. So when you decided to pursue being Mrs. Claus, what sources besides maps, Michigan area professional Santas, did you find to help become the best you could be? You said education is always important, even for the Mrs. Claus.
Education is huge. And I knew that I knew just from doing it for a couple years without anything that I needed more, because probably the theater background tells me too, that I wanted to know who Mrs. Claus was before. How do you represent her if you don't know who she is? And you don't know who she is unless you know who you are. So I really had to go deep and figure out what kind of Mrs. Claus I wanted to be. And this image, I look like my great grandmother, so that I can't get away from. So this is what I came up with. But I think the schooling is very important. And yes, I Googled it and I found maps. Ted Flynn called me on the phone, and I was so excited that a Santa Claus was actually calling me. It was awesome. Yeah, it was amazing. And then I met, oh crap. And then I met Randy at the I went to the conclave. It was that year. I just packed up and registered. Didn't know one single person other than talking to Ted on the phone. And it was a little bit nerving, but ran into Randy and then started. Everybody was so wonderful. And I knew I learned so much every which way. I was learning from everybody. So I guess I learn from my friends every time I'm with them. And I'm going to keep going to the schools, of course, because I think that is just a must. But other than that, I really didn't have anything other than just trying to figure it out.
We might need to get you to come to Branson.
I would like to.
Speaking of maps, Judy Maynard says hi.
Oh, hello.
Well, Jerry Keel also says, do you believe in the more traditional Mrs. Claus?
Yes, I do. I'm an old-fashioned soul.
I can see that a little bit, but then when you talked about the younger Santa, you might be coming out of that box a little bit.
But I'm also an actress, so I can do it. But I prefer the old school ways, like this cabinets from the Civil War right here. I like the old stuff in here. But I'm an actress, so it's all fun, actually.
So what advice would you give to a Mrs. Claus just starting out, solo or otherwise?
I would say find out where the group is in your state first, and like maps. We have it in Michigan Association. I know that every state has a group. When I was in Florida, I met somebody that wanted to be a Mrs. Claus her whole life, so I found the gals in Jacksonville and hooked her up with them. So I think that's important. And then people are so nice. If somebody wants to mentor you and help you, let them. They'll guide you. They'll help you know how much to charge for money if you're going to do that, or what you need to do at first, so it's not so scary. Find a mentor, I guess, is the best thing in your group. Find where you belong to make yourself better.
Nice.
And yes, Bangle, that was a typo. The
Yeah,
the R and the T are next to each other on the keypad.
At least you didn't forget the period.
Yeah, there you go. Shawn, what do you feel is the best part of being a Mrs. Claus in an ever-changing industry?
I think that I'm a strong woman, strong, independent woman. And I think that I can convey that to girls and boys that need to know that girls are going to be strong women. I just think it helps the self-esteem. And there's a lot of things as a child, and if they're up against a lot of odds in their lives, that being strong, it's going to help them get through whatever it is. So I've had teenagers say that I was a girl boss, and I like that. But I guess that's the biggest thing about Mrs. Claus. I try to convey that we can be leaders. Doesn't mean we don't love Santa Claus more than anything. It just means that we're strong and it's healthy. So
Yeah,
Great
you
answer.
say you can convey that to the boys and girls, but I think you could probably convey it to a few Santas as well.
I'm hoping.
So, okay, what would you say the future holds for Mrs. Claus, and what improvements are needed?
Um, for me, I would like to maybe do some TV. And I've done commercials and like for Channel 10 News and stuff like that. I would like to do some more of that type of thing. Um, maybe teach classes. Um, corporate. I want to do some corporate stuff. I really want to do that. I've got a wedding dress that I ordered, or not ordered, I purchased from a lady named Mrs. Claus for real, a red wedding dress. I want to use that for corporate events. I want to do corporate big things. So, and then there's some other, maybe write a book because I think it would be helpful for me to have my own picture in the book. So when I'm working with the kids, I'm the Mrs. Claus, not another picture of a Mrs. Claus. It's confusing. So I got a whole bunch of stuff I want to do, but one thing at a time. I keep telling that's why last year and probably this year, I just kind of do a little bit of everything so I can do what I like to do best. But I'm just trying everything right now. I'm working with different Santas. And one thing before I forget, I also am working on a something with one of the teachers at our school that I'm going to be part of the curriculum, maybe starting in November, and going to help the children correspond with this classroom of children. And then by the December, before they get out of school, I'm going to actually come in the classroom. So, and I'm doing all this is just, for free. And this is my volunteer stuff, but I'm really excited about doing that and creating something that I think I can take to other classes someday and keep doing with the children, teaching them. I'm all about education too, because Board of Education pretty much made that solid. So
Deanna Golden wants to know if you prefer solo events or working with different Santas.
It's about the same. It's about equal, I think. But I like to perform with the Santas that go to the schoolings. I enjoy that more because we usually know without even talking the stories, and it makes it more fun. So,
yeah. So
I was
you
gonna
love to
say that
sew.
would probably have to depend on the Santa, huh?
yeah.
You love to sew. Do you design all your own Mrs. Claus attire, or do you have a mix of store bought and some that you've made?
It's a mix. But like this shirt is from a place that does like Western for TV and commercials and stuff, this blouse. So, and then I make these are easy. And it's a mix. It usually it's just ordered stuff and then I make things, though. It's not thrifting, really. I haven't really found anything like that. I like it to look custom and simple. Mrs. Claus, not a lot of stuff going, not a lot of designs and things. It's just pretty simple. Seems to look best, I think, for me.
Vintage look.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Mrs. Claus are lucky because they can go in so many different directions with how they want their look.
Exactly.
And some do get at thrift stores, and some,
Yeah.
Amazon or
Yeah.
Walmart's or wherever, custom made.
Yep. Amazon's
Anyway.
a good place to go for a lot of things.
Where is
Amazon,
Amazon?
actually.
I think Amazon's good for everything, isn't it?
And it's fast.
Yeah.
Fast.
It's a
So, anyways, Shawn, stay with us because it is the first Tuesday of the month, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for Jessica Rosa to join us for the holidayphotomagic.com Spangle Drives Me Crazy trivia. But sitting in for Jessica tonight, who booked a last-minute photo shot, is that crazy Santa Scott dude from Oklahoma.
There he is. Hey, look, there's Knit Ram.
You're muted.
Unmute.
I've got Knit Ram with me tonight.
We see
saw
that.
Yeah, sorry about that. But Shawn, good to have you on the show. Nice
Thank
to
you.
see you. You're a beautiful Mrs. Claus, and I've enjoyed listening to all your background. You're an amazing woman.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So, Shawn or Scott, I see you sitting there at your computer with Knit Ram. Were you guys like planning arrangements and stuff for that big wedding? Since he's, I heard there was like bells ringing in Branson.
Well, I'm not at liberty to make that announcement. See the look you got. Anyhow, might as well get on with Jessica's trivia. And yes, you drive us crazy, Spangle. I have to agree.
I think I drive a lot of people crazy.
Scott,
That's my wife.
hang on. You're just going to play the lead in, and then you'll do the trivia on the other side of that.
Okay. Okay. Welcome back. And here's the trivia. Spangle drives me crazy. Name the company who made the first blow mold Santa Claus, and when was it? Circa. So about. And 10,000 bonus points that buys absolutely nothing. Who acquired the mold after the first company closed, and what year was that? Also, what year did they stop producing it? Go through it one more time. Name the company who made the first blow mold Santa Claus, and when was it? Who acquired the mold after the first company closed, and what year was it? And what year did they stop producing it?
And why is it when I heard this trivia questions that I'm thinking, wow, that blow mold, the mold, how do I get that? Like I need it.
Well,
Yeah,
we probably all
exactly.
do.
And of course, Jessica comes up with all of her own trivia questions. So this is one of hers, and I thought it was a really good one because I didn't realize that they weren't producing them anymore. You still see, I guess, what you see is reproductions or something, but or that was made before before they stopped making this stuff. I'll get it out one way or the other. But anyway, you get my drift.
Absolutely. Bob, I got a question for Shawn.
Okay.
What do you want most people to remember most about you as Mrs. Claus portrayer? And how would you describe yourself as a Mrs. Claus actress?
I would want people to walk away thinking that they had just met Mrs. Claus because she was very truthful and they could feel it. And what was the rest of the question? What was the second?
How would you describe yourself as Mrs. Claus actress?
Very motherly. I'm just like a mom, a grandmother, and people or kids seem to notice it real quick because I get lots of hugs and love, and I put their fears at bay when I'm with them, and I think a trueness comes through too, and they like that, and the parents do too, I think.
Well, you definitely seem very approachable.
Well, thank you.
And I think that would be the term that kind of sums that all up, is that you're very approachable and you're very easy to talk to as a Mrs. C.
Thank you.
I've watched the whole show, but I wasn't actually on here. I had a lot going on here too. So Bob, I jumped in here for Jessica, and Jessica, like Bob said, had a photo shoot. But I'm glad they've jumped in here. Those that didn't get to School of Santas, I can't stop saying you missed a wonderful 2 weeks. Both weeks were great. And if you ever go to Branson, go to Queen Esther.
Queen Esther will be showing next year also.
I'm sorry.
Good. That's one we didn't talk enough about. To me, that was the number one show, and it blew me away. Like I said before, it brought me to tears at the end.
And I think Shawn would get a kick out of the Queen Esther, the whole Sight and Sound theaters.
She would. She would.
Being in theater yourself, the production that they do is phenomenal.
Second to none. I've never seen anything like it.
Now, we have one that says Scott doesn't look like Jessica. We apologize that Scott doesn't have as much hair on his chin as her. But
but what did you think of Queen Esther, the Sight and Sound with the moon and all the animals? What did you think?
It was really good. So
Was that the best show you saw in Branson this year?
I guess, yeah.
Or did you like the Elvis, or did you like the acrobats?
Yeah, acrobats one.
Okay, well there's a different view for an 11-year-old elf. So and you know, Knitram goes with me to the School of Santas. He's been every year, is he not, Spangle?
Every year but one.
And the year that I didn't come.
Right.
The year you didn't have it.
No. Before Susan.
Yeah, we didn't come to that. But anyhow, it's been a pleasure being here with you guys, and I guess we need to get back to Bob.
Okay, well, let's I like asking this question right here. If you could ask the real Santa Claus just one question, what would it be?
I would like to know what it was like when he was a little boy. What was his Christmas like? I would just like to know. And what
was there a Christmas before he was
Papa Claus?
Papa Claus,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. You know,
children ask that question. Did you have a mom and dad? Was your dad Santa Claus? Well, you know, you kind of have to build a backstory in there somehow when you get that question. So I would say, sure, I had a mama and Papa Claus, and you know, at some point, you know, I took over, and at some point, my son will take over. Did you know I had children? And so it's a whole different, you know, look at how the story goes.
All right. Well, let's change that question up a little bit for you, because being the wonderful Mrs. Claus that you are, if you could ask the real Mrs. Claus, and no asking yourself, okay, with just one question, what would that be?
Okay, I would ask her to tell me about Santa Claus and why she loves him, and just tell me everything that makes her love him. I would want to know all of that.
Good answer. Another good answer.
As Mrs. Claus yourself, I have a question.
Okay.
How did you meet Santa?
Well, he was trying to save a town that the toys were being taken away from the town. And I was teaching school back then, and it all came together that I came to help him, and we found each other, and then I started to help him to bring the toys to the town, and that's how he got his start. So,
girl, you're on fire.
And I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I figured you said you're an actress, and you are definitely a Mrs. Claus actress. And I commend you for what an absolutely wonderful answer.
Oh, thank you.
I think I have another question, don't I?
You do, Scott. Well, actually, yeah, it's more than a question.
Yeah, it's more than a question. So we'll get on with it. We have another guest joining us to do a special drawing. Larry Shaw from Indianapolis, Indiana, and founder of Santa's Secret Workshop Facebook group, holds an annual raffle, and this year's recipient is Courtney Loftus, RedSledFoundation.org. We are doing the early bird drawing live here tonight. Winner will receive the Carlucci Way video. And Larry, give us the 2 minutes to use.
Two numbers.
Oh, sorry. I can't read. Actually, I've been on the road 1,100 miles, so.
That's right. For those who didn't know,
lights.
I'll get to that in a minute. Hey, Larry.
All right.
Larry, can you pull over?
I'm not driving.
Okay.
We can't see you. You're in the dark.
Can
All
you
right.
turn a dome light on?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's illegal to drive with the dome light.
Yeah, but we're not going to get the ticket.
Wait a minute. There he goes.
There. All right. Are you coming back from the North Pole?
I'm coming somewhere. I don't know. I got a driver here that's crazy, and I'm as crazy as he is. So who knows what we're doing?
All right.
I
So
think
do you
I
have
already
the
sent-
low number?
I already sent you the numbers I thought, but here they are again. Let me get them out here. We're gonna. Spangle's got, he's got all the gadgets, and he's got a gadget here. It's going to pick a random number between 6388 and 6911.
So we have
All right.
63. Let me see if we can get this on here.
6388
And 6911.
6911. All right, Spangle, give us our random
And
number.
we're going to hit generate. The number is 6629.
All right, let me look at my sheet here and let me see what that's going to be.
Spangle, it looks like we may hear a lot of wedding bells on the show tonight.
Well, I don't know, but let's.
You guys are too much.
Hey, Bob, while he's looking that over, can I skip over you for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Before you go, since you're in the car and traveling around, we could end up losing signal. I want to ask you a couple questions there, Larry. How many of the SOSs have you attended?
He's muted.
You're muted, Larry.
You're muted.
He says, what?
Turn on your voice.
All right, I've done the last three.
You've the last three. And are you coming next year? Are you coming to Branson next year?
Spangle holds the best party there is. Why wouldn't
Okay. And let me ask you this, okay? Because everybody's wanting to know. This has got to be the hottest topic going on Facebook right now. Did your candle get sparked in Branson this year?
No comment on that one.
Good response, Larry. Good response.
We'll have to tell you about that, Shawn, in the green room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are just too much.
Okay, so who was the winner?
All right, here is Schwenker. It's SCHWENKER.
Schwenker?
Schwenker. Peter Schwenker. You got that?
One more time.
Hold on, let me go.
Peter Schwenker.
Peter Shrinker.
Spell the last name?
Yeah.
Spell the last name, Larry.
Yes. SCWENKER.
Swinker.
And Angela's gonna put it up on the screen for us. As soon as she gets it typed in, there it is.
There it is. All right, congratulations, Peter.
Way to go, Peter. Good job.
And what do they win again, Larry?
They are going to win the first module from the Colucci Way series, or they can take and add $75 towards the purchase of the total series, which is a 3-part series. They are all 2-hour videos.
Very good. Well,
I heard that's a
fantastic.
hot item.
So I know you're in the car and you're driving. Do you want to hang out with us for a little bit, Larry, while we're going with the show, or do you need to go?
I can hang out in the Greenwood room, but I probably need to turn off this light so he can see better to drive.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you back in the green room after the show. Stay in and watch from there, and we'll see you here in a few minutes.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Larry. All right, so this is a good point to go ahead and reveal tonight's trivia winners. So let's go to the schoolofsantas.com. This is worth your name going into the hat for the drawing for the 2024 School of Santas, Branson, Missouri. How long has the amazing acrobats of Shanghai been performing in Branson? That would be 22 years. And how many seats are there at the Mickey Gilley's Grand Shanghai Theater? That would be 998. Spangle almost gave it away when he said the theater holds 1,000. But
hey, I don't know why they don't figure out a way to put 3 more seats in there where they can say they have over 1,000.
Well, yeah, 909, and they probably could.
Yeah,
well, they're not counting the 3 guys in the sound booth.
Their theater's over 1,000 people.
Yeah, so
3 guys
our
in the
winner,
sound booth.
And our winner was Angela.
Jeff Olette.
Jeff Olette, fantastic, Jeff. Jeff was in Branson this year. We enjoyed having him and meeting him in person. He, of course, he is part of the MAPS organization also up there, and just fantastic. Your name goes into the hat for the drawing, and good answer on that one, Jeff. Okay, so moving along to the stuffforsanta.com. What is the name of the iconic theater that Legends in Concert Branson show is seen? That would be the Dick Clark's American Bandstand Theater, Branson. And how many seats did it have? 970 seats. Our winner?
Ray Bradshaw.
Ray Bradshaw in Denton, Texas. Fantastic, Ray. Good job, brother.
That theater seemed bigger than the other one.
It did. I thought the same thing when I saw that answer, but I guess it's all under perception. I don't know. All right. Do we have a winner for Jessica's?
Yes, it was Ray also. Ray Bradshaw.
Ray Bradshaw also won the holidayphotomagic.com, named the company who made the first blow mold Santa Claus. And when was it? Circa. The answer there was BCO Products. And it was sometime in the 1960s. Never could pinpoint an exact date. Everything I saw just said in the 60s. Also, the bonus there that was worth nothing was 1968. General Foam Plastics is who purchased it, and they made the blow mold all the way up until 2017. And Spangle, do your research and see if you can get that and start reproducing it, man.
Yeah, because now I'm wondering, because that business went out of business. So where is that mold now?
Yeah. So unless there's a patent or something that's still pending on it somewhere.
Well, I'm not going to make them, but it just seems like that would just be a cool piece to have, the mold.
It would be. It really would be.
Like, where am I going to put it?
All right. So moving along, back over to you, Spangle.
All right. So, Shawn, what are your favorite props as Mrs. Claus?
I don't take a lot. This key, to the cookie cupboard that I have to lock Santa Claus out of.
Man, I thought that was something you could put frosting on the cakes or the cookies.
It's pretty big. Actually, I have an antique one that I actually put in my pocket, and I pull it out. It's a little skeleton key from an antique market, and that one leads to lots of good conversation with the kids. So, and they get so tickled, they'll start giggling when I tell them I have to lock him out. And then usually the Santa Clauses do have keys on their belts or somewhere. So I'll say, if you're going to go see Santa, you'll see that he has that key on his belt. But remember, Mrs. Claus has this little one, and I can lock him out of it. So no matter what he says. And they start giggling, and they think they know a big secret. This is the other golden books are amazing. This one, well, wait, right here. This one, all-time favorite. It's got little people just need little pictures, and Mrs. Claus is in this, and we can point to the elves, and we can go through the toy shop for Santa. And this I use this constantly, this little book, even with big crowds, because I'll read it, but I want them to use their imaginations as much as the pictures. So
you're talking about using your imagination with the pictures. At the School of Santas this year, Shirley talked about when you're reading the story with the child, is go through and show them some of the pictures first, and ask them what do they think is happening in that point, because then they're using the imagination like you just said, and then go back and read the story.
Well, what I tell them, because I did a whole in Ohio that whole day at the Children's Wonderland, I just set them all down. They're all in front of me, 50 children or so, and I tell them, ask them if they know what an imagination is, and their little heads will bob kind of, and then we'll talk about what an imagination is, and do you have an imagination before I even read a book. And they get quiet because that my voice lowers and it's very soft. And then when we start reading this, they're just taken. It doesn't matter what I read if I go into the reading like that. And I usually also for the night before Christmas, I tell them a little history about the poem of it and where it was created and the man that created it, and what he was doing in front of the fireplace as he was talking to his children. And that's why he created this book or this poem. And so I give them the whole background on it. So by the time I get to the book, the kids are just like, oh gosh, tell us the story. We want to see with our own eyes. So those are my only props, really. I have a basket. I have this. I have a few candy canes sometimes, but not really. Maybe some stickers afterwards. That's it. Doesn't take much.
Well, Shawn, what would you say is the best part of the Santa community?
Oh,
the Mrs. Claus.
My friendships. My friendships are at this point in life. I'm 56 years old, and I am so happy to have found such good people. Like, you don't imagine that this would happen at this point in your life. And some of the girlfriends I have now are just, they're going to be lifers. They're going to be friends forever. And I'm a better person when I'm around them. We are so completely different. When we were in Gatlinburg, Mel, Erica, Kathy, myself, my cousin, completely opposites, every one of us. Tammy was with us. But we all make each other better. There's some kind of magic there because we just, I don't know. It's amazing. So that's what the community has done for me. And that's why I want to give back to MAPS and the Ohio. I'm real close with Ohio guys, working with them and things. So that's why I give back to. That's what the community does for me.
What are your goals moving forward?
With the community, I would like to teach and more leadership roles, and gently, because I know there's a lot of people that Mrs. Claus, maybe not quite understanding that yet, but I would like to lead the way a little bit with that. And it's kind of just my MO basically, usually in life, but it needs to be a natural. And for my friends, for all of us to come together and do good things for the community of Santa.
Wonderful. I would love to extend the invitation and hope that maybe you would look into coming to San Antonio, which is really, huh?
I'm coming.
You're coming? Then I don't need to say anymore because it's real Claus based. It's more Claus based than you would imagine.
Okay, I'm so excited. I grew up in Texas, and
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So I have family down there, and I'm going to make I do a lot of with Thelma and Louise. I have a whole page on Facebook, Thelma and Louise, that I've had for years. There's people from all over the world, women on it, and so my cousin and I take Thelma and Louise trips all over Texas in a truck and video it and crazy stuff, but no murder or anything. So.
Well, I live in Oklahoma, so that's why I said, "Oh, I'm sorry," because Oklahoma's part of Texas. Texas didn't want.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But anyhow, no, we look forward to seeing you there. So I guess the first part of the year is already planned for you, San Antonio, and then back in March or back in July in Branson.
Yeah, I'm hoping. In March, I'm going to Ohio for Ben's schooling there, so I'm excited about that.
Well, that'll be a fun one.
School too,
yeah, with Lee and Jeff, no doubt.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
So, Shawn, one last question: what have you done to help develop a better Mrs. Claus?
For somebody else or myself?
How about let's go two ways with that, both ways.
Open-ended.
I think that actually I've helped some Santa Clauses too. Just by having them believe in themselves when they talk to me. I've had some Santas message me, and I have helped them with decisions, and my Mrs. Claus friends, and we just support each other, totally support each other, and are honest, and not any. There's not one of us that's in it for ourselves. We're all in it together, and that's what's magical about it. So we support each other, and I support them. Is that a good answer?
Yeah,
That's a great answer. What we got one person asking, please talk about your photo book for interviews.
I don't have it out. When I do cold calls for marketing for jobs, gigs, I have a photo book that I have, instead of taking my phone in, because it's kind of squirrely to be talking to somebody and looking up, and you're not looking at them when you're looking up pictures and things. So I made a photo book up of events that I've been in, parades, and some children, different things. And I just pull out the photo book and show them. And that, and the other thing I do is I have a calendar, because I don't like, this one really works well. I have a calendar, and if they want to schedule a date, I pull the date out and set it down, and they can see where I've already been booked, and that they probably should book me right there in those spots. It's a little bit of pressure for the cold calls marketing. That works really nicely too. So that and the photo book I take when I go out to get jobs.
Very nice.
And that comment or question was from Jenny Lynn.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's go to our viewers and see if they have any questions or comments. We've asked a few along the way already.
Looks like Angela's got 23 starred up here. So let me go back to the top and pick these up. Facebook user, hello, Shawn. Thank you for being a fabulous reflection of the best of Clauses. I think that was Deanna. We mentioned that one. Carlucci says we need more Mrs. Claus performers like you to be that engaged and resilient to stay in character while performing. Facebook user again, that was my favorite Spangle. Can I get one this year? I'm not sure what we're talking about.
Maybe
there.
We're talking about the hat.
Oh, the hat. Okay.
Maybe.
Santa Bruce Guerin says, Shawn, you have such a great spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Kotovich, that is.
Thank you.
Melissa Lynn says, Shawn is amazing. She's a beautiful woman inside and out and a wonderful friend. Plus, she is so much fun to hang out with.
I love Mel.
Everybody loves Mel. You know.
So much fun we had in Gatlinburg.
Mel almost got her a job in Branson, and I guess almost didn't move to Michigan.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The way we seen her dive up onto that 4-foot platform, I thought for sure she was going to the Shanghai Circus.
For those who wasn't in Branson, Scott had a 4-foot platform with a show spotlight on it, and Mel ran the spotlight almost every time that the spotlight was needed. And to get up there was quite a leap.
Wow.
The box that the light came in was only, 3 foot, 2.5, 3 foot. So you had to step up on it to get up on the 4-foot platform. And hey, she went right up.
I think there's times she didn't even use the box.
She may not have. She may not have.
Oh.
She had a little extra bounce in her step. Another Facebook user says Shawn truly is an enchanted Mrs. Claus. Her passion and dedication to the Claus community are evident, and it's heartwarming to see the incredible impact she has made.
Aw, thank you.
That was Nathan
Vandenbroek.
I love Nathan. We went live on TikTok. He's my Santa that does that with me.
Next
I
one
don't know
is
where
Shawn
Ted's
has an
going with
adorable
his
wardrobe too. Who was that from? Tammy says Shawn has a adorable wardrobe too.
Thank you.
Who's the
Tammy.
next one from?
Where did Ted go with his question?
That was also Tammy. Amazing.
Tammy says, amazing. What an inspiration, Shawn. I can't wait to see you again.
Soon.
Okay, this one's from Bruce Norrin.
Bruce Nord said, Kathy and I would love to work with you. Carlucci says, do you have a stage act?
Not really. I just improv. Real quick, I did a Department of Aging luncheon over 250 people and me, and ended up singing with a guy and a guitar. So I just do what's needed.
We've already covered Ted's comment there. I got it earlier. Facebook user again, we're going to have a lot of fun at the conclave, Shawn White.
Yep.
Who was that, Angie?
Oh, that was Bruce.
No, not that one.
Bruce? Okay.
That was Bruce.
All right. Next Facebook user, the parade was fabulous. 3 flags per vehicle. Fans waving along the streets. Could have kept driving around town. That comes from Deanna Golden.
Wouldn't that have been a sight to drive around for an hour or so, blocking all the roads?
Wouldn't it, we might have gotten in trouble for sure then.
Yeah.
Randy Wagner, Santa Checker Lee says it's fun watching Shawn TikTok videos, very entertaining. AJ Bayless says,
did he get stuck doing that a day?
I don't know, Randy, how many hours do you do that a day? AJ Bayless says, Santa AJ says, Shawn, if you need someone to work with on TikTok, he's always available.
Yep. I've thought about him for being one of my moderators. So when it gets to that point, I'll be looking him up.
And Santa Carlucci says the Carlucci way has lots of couples-based education that's important for Mrs. Claus. Again, Randall Checker Lee, super lucky you came to RSC last year and being a fantastic addition to the RSC and the community. Thank you, Shawn White.
Thank you.
The next one is from Mike Brenninger.
Mike Brenninger, I think you would be a great teacher. Now, you kind of have been dabbing in that, as you mentioned earlier.
I was a teacher in my occupation. I was a counselor / teacher for a little while. So I have a little bit of it, and a degree and stuff. So, yeah.
AJ says I'm sorry.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I interrupted you. You go ahead.
I would love to teach. I love to be a teacher. So hopefully soon.
AJ says, I had a lot of fun being on the show last week. So did my dad. Speaking of the Tuesday show. Hi, Martin, and hey, Scott. And that's from AJ. Ted Flynn says, Spangle, if Mel be a great Santa, you can be a great Mrs. Claus.
Well, for Ted's thing, there is a video out there, and I think it's on the Kentucky Clown Derby page, that it shows Spangle dressed up as I competed in a womanless beauty pageant. and it was for charity. So different entertainers from around the country, all dressed up like girls, and we had a womanless beauty pageant. I had a lot of fun. I wore a sash and it says "You can't touch this." My question was from if you became president of the if you became the first woman president of the United States, what would you change? And my answer was these heels. And I had a lot of fun. We got to throw at the end of the thing. We got to throw the host into the swimming pool at the hotel, the host of the pageant, and this guy from way up high, about 8 stories up at this hotel, because we got the pool here and all these rooms were up there, and he's hollering down, hey girl, and I'm, hey buddy, hello. I was glad he didn't make the elevator trip down.
That can be a sight to see there for sure, for sore eyes. Spangle, this is for you. Ray Bradshaw says Santa coins, please, on his choice of coins for the trivia.
Yeah, that'd be after you send me a list.
Yeah, I've got all those. I'm going to send them to you right after the show. And by the way, folks, if you've won a trivia question in the last month, because of Branson, Spangle has not shipped anything out. Faith, who works in his store that does all the shipping, was at Branson. She worked the Stuff for Santa store there. So a little bit behind there, but your stuff will be coming.
All the orders are out. It's just the trivia stuff hasn't gone out.
Yeah, the trivia stuff. We'll get that out to you. I've done a photo book as well. Very handy. I'm not sure who that is. Scott Becker. Okay. Shawn, great presentation. Would love to have you on Yuletide Artist Marketing Network to exchange your wisdom on marketing the photos. Grand idea is grand, and it fits a Mrs. Claus personality.
Derek.
That's Derek Dugan. I knew who that was.
Derek.
Great job all around. Keep it all fresh and new. Shawn, you truly are a treasure to Michigan. Have a blast at the conclave.
Thank
Jenny
you,
Land.
That's nice.
Connie Bayless, AJ's mom, says becoming more vested in this group and makes me think about dipping my toe into Mrs. Claus instead of an elf. Maybe someday.
Wow.
Hey,
Come
Connie.
on, Connie. Come on.
Just jump on in, Connie.
By the,
Shawn
Send me a
Teller,
message.
jump on in.
She can send me a message.
There you go.
I'll help her.
Nancy Kyle says, Shawn, you are a role model for others.
Thank you, Nancy. That's sweet.
And one last comment here. AJ says, Spangle, can you contact me after the show, please?
The police.
And Jackie, and going to have to follow you on TikTok, Shawn.
Okay. Do it, please.
We're going to try to get you up to that 1 million subscribers.
I hope so. They know me when I go on TikTok on my daughters.
Very good. All right, so Spangle, we already jumped over the other part that was for Larry.
Share
So
your daughter's TikTok and your TikTok handles or whatever on here. Maybe we can get them written on the screen.
I can, yeah. I'll put it in the comments. How about that?
All right, because I was thinking Angie
That'll work.
put it up on the screen.
Mine is just Mrs. Claus Vintage. It's on TikTok. Everything that I have is the same. So it's super easy to find. And if you're on my TikTok, I will go into her TikTok in December. So it'll be a big live thing, and I'll probably do videos to announce it. So it'll in live and whatever to announce it.
All right. Well, very good. This has been a really good show, and we're getting close to the 2-hour mark. That's amazing. Hey, anyways, join us next week for our next Tuesday Night Live episode, 7 p.m. Central Time, where our featured guest will be Ron McLam, Santa of Rio Rancho. And Ron was one of the beginning people right here on the Tuesday Night Live show, too.
That's right. He was our first producer.
There you go. And he's a big-time movie star.
Ron's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
Well,
proud of the work he's doing.
Can't forget to catch the next Monday show with Bob Randall and company. That's Monday at 3 p.m. Central.
That's right. And don't forget, North Pole Cornerstones invites you to join us in San Antonio, Texas, February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 2024. For more information, go to npcornerstones.com, npcornerstones.com, and everything is there. We also have a Facebook page under North Pole Cornerstones. You can find us on there. And we released the information this week that is Marriott Northwest in San Antonio. And some exciting news. Scott traveled down yesterday and went to the hotel.
Wow. What a conference.
Yeah,
I mean,
11, almost 1,200 miles round trip.
Yeah. I mean, people, if you don't come to San Antonio, I can't tell you what you're going to miss. You got to come. I'm telling you, we've got the whole second floor of the above the lobby, and it's all conference rooms. It's huge. We've got space for everybody.
Five rooms.
5 rooms. That's correct. We have now got five meeting spaces. They're all connected, and we're going to have some great vendors there. Plenty of room for them. We need to fill it up, and we're moving towards that spot now. So, hey, this is one you don't want to miss. It's an inaugural school, and you do not want to miss it. It's going to be amazing.
It's a collaboration of Santa Nana's Holiday University and Santa in the Business of Being Santa coming together. Deanna Golden, Judas Broderick, myself, Scott Seriton, Rex Ray, and Chrissy Kovic with CostumeMagic.com are the instructors, and we are the members that's putting it together. Most exciting thing I've ever been involved with. We're taking everything to the next level. So check us out. Join us. We would love to have you. And Spangle's going to be there. As a matter of fact, Spangle's got a surprise when we tell him what's going to happen. But anyway, him and Jessica Rosa, holidayphotomagic.com, will have vendor space there along with others. So more to come. Just stay tuned. All right, Spangle, you got any closing thoughts, my friend?
Man, my mind is just blown tonight. I'm just, wow, this has just been really cool. A lot of little notes that I've been taking. I keep my tablet right here, jotting little things down.
You know, every week I say, gosh, what a great show. And I don't think we can top that, but each week it seems to just keep carrying on. And this week was a fantastic show, Shawn.
And I want to thank you guys for inviting me on here. I really do appreciate it. I was so excited. I get on there on Mondays and I try to watch you guys all the time. So I know it's a big honor to be invited on this and to just talk about Mrs. Claus and what it is becoming in the world now. So I appreciate that.
We just try to bring everyone we can on. Again, we're better together, as Matt says, number one. Number two, education is everything. And that's what we want to stress and share everyone's knowledge. And it just makes us all better. And, of course, the folks who really benefit that the most are those that we serve, the children, the families. And so everything that we can do, we were honored to have you on. Scott, you got any final thoughts, my friend?
Turn around. I want to thank the crew of TNL for everything they do and our viewers. And Shawn, thank you so much for being here. We love having you, and it's been great. And I can't wait to see you in San Antonio.
I know, I'm excited. Anything I can ever do for this show or anything, you guys just reach out to me, and I'm here. I will help.
That's a mistake.
Okay,
that's a mistake.
I would love to help.
All right, thank you so much. And Larry, I know you're still watching from back in the green room. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and everything that you do for our community, Larry. You're greatly appreciated. One of the anchors of our industry for sure. All right, a big thank you to schoolofsantas.com, stuffforsanta.com, Holiday Photo Magic, and don't forget all our shows are recorded and can be found on our Facebook group as well as our YouTube at the Tuesday Night Live Show. While you're over, be sure and check Randall and myself, Bob and Randall, and Company live preview show on Mondays at 3 p.m. Also, like Scott says, we've got some really cool stuff coming up with the Cornerstone, so don't forget about that. Back over to you, Scott.
Yeah, and don't forget our merch for Tuesday Night Live. They're at fancylees.com. Fancy Lees. That's FANCYLEES.com. Got all kinds of swag, hats, mugs. Bob, where's your mug? There you go. Spangle, show your mug. There you go.
Hey, Bob. You guys just said about all that cool stuff that you got going on here with Fancy Lee's and all that. I also want to say something else that's really cool too. Is that Thermapparel?
Yes. Can't forget Thermapparel. She, Julie, and her husband and their partner. Of course, it was on the show earlier. She gave away one of their cooling vests. She'll be back at the end of the year to give away another one. If you get a chance to go see her in person and check out their product, do so, because it's a remarkable improvement on what we've had in the past for the community to use. Santa's, Mrs. Clauses alike, all the Clauses benefit.
I had mine in Branson. Nobody really saw it. It's under my shirt. But
yeah, very true.
But
all right, so
it saved me in Gatlinburg big time.
Yeah, it did. It really did. You were looking a little pale there. All right, say good night, Scott.
Good night, everyone.
Spangle, tell everyone good night, Spangle.
Good night, Spangle.
Remember to join us for our next Tuesday Night Live each week, 7 p.m. Central, same Claus time, same Claus channel. Count your blessings, not your sorrows. Have a blessed week. Until next time, on behalf of Shawn, Larry, Spangle, Jessica, Rex, Melissa Lynn, Randall, Angela, Scott, and myself, I'm Santa Bob McMasters, saying good night. Remember, always let your Claus of heart shine bright. Never stop learning, and we hope to see you right back here next Tuesday night, as well as Monday for the Bob and Randall Show. Good night, all.
Don't forget NetRam.
Bye, NetRam.
Bye.